Hey guys, welcome to Impact Online. I'm Tracey, one of your leaders here at Impact, who has the very distinct honor and privilege to bring to you our science series.
Science rules.
Science, I love science. Science is the best. Yeah, science. Whew. So I couldn't find a song that fully expressed how I felt about science, so I just kind of wrote my own. I'm still workshopping it. Let me know what you think about it, but yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, science. I'm pretty excited about it, if you can't tell. I love science. The thing I love about science is I get to study what God created. And for me, there's like nothing more exciting than that. So let's just jump right into it. So science. That's a pretty broad area, I guess. So I started to think, okay, what could we talk about? So I thought about nature, which made me think about light, which made me think about bioluminescence. And maybe you're like, woo, that's exciting. What is that? Bioluminescence is the production and emission, which is the giving off of light by a living organism. And so you've probably seen lots of examples of it. I mean, I started to think about some and I was like, the anglerfish in Finding Nemo. I was like, he's kind of scary. I don't want to talk about that. And then I thought about the moonlight mushrooms. They're in Japan and Eastern Asia, and it's these mushrooms that grow on the trees that glow. And I think, wow, that would be pretty spectacular to see. But you know, it's kind of fancy. I don't know if I want to go there. So then I thought about dinoflagellates, and I got kind of excited. I was like, maybe this is it, because these are the little plankton that use bioluminescence as a defense mechanism, which is kind of cool. And when you think about it, it's like, well, if I saw like a cheeseburger glowing, I'm probably not going to eat it. And that's what these plankton are doing. They're using this bioluminescence process so they glow. And then things are like, oh, I don't want to eat that. That's glowing. So that's pretty cool. And in the Maldives, like this happens, they refer to it as the Sea of Stars, because it looks like literally that the stars have fallen from the sky or are in the water and the sand. And it's beautiful. Like it's a big tourist thing for them. You can also see them in Florida and California too when these plankton get washed in. It's really cool. There's like you can surf even during this, and you know, that's just too exciting for me. Like my mind just can't handle it. So I needed to find something in between that would work for this. So I thought about, well, you know what? I'm just gonna tell you a story, and I'm gonna see if you can figure it out. Okay? So here we go. So imagine this. Imagine I tell you, hey, I won these tickets to go see this big event in Tennessee. And you're like, ooh, okay. Like, hey, you want to come with? I'm like, sure, that sounds fun, Tracey. All right, let's go. So, we're going to the Great Smoky Mountain National Park in Tennessee. And you're like, okay, I'm starting to lose a little bit of interest, but we'll see where this goes. Thank you. So, we get there, and it's kind of a big deal. And I'm telling you about it on the way. I'm like, hey, just so you know, this is a really big deal because I had to enter a lottery to even get a chance to buy these tickets. So it's a big deal, and this only occurs once a year for a 2-week period, somewhere between May and June. So you kind of have to be flexible because it's not necessarily guaranteed exactly when it's going to occur. You know, you're probably a little interested. Like, okay, so we are at the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Tennessee. And we have to take this cute little trolley up to a campground further up the mountain a little bit. And we get there and we set out our chairs and we're sitting there and we're staring at the woods. Doesn't this sound wonderful? We're just staring at the woods. And as night falls, you start to see little flashes of light. There's one. Oh, there's one. There's another one. Oh, that's pretty cool. And then all of a sudden, they all flash together, and then it's dark. And then they all flash together, and it's dark. And you're like, Tracey, what in the world did you just bring me to? Like, what is going on? And I'm like, shh, you gotta be quiet because but I'll talk normal for the sake of this video and be like, duh, it's Photinus carolinus. And there'd be this awkward silence because you'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, sorry, it's the synchronous firefly. Maybe you're like, okay, Tracy, we have fireflies in Minnesota. Why did you bring me all the way here? Well, here's the cool thing. So these fireflies are unique, and nobody really knows why they developed this. But unlike our fireflies, where it's just like, oh, there's one, oh, there's one, it's cute. These guys are like, no, you know what's gonna be awesome? Let's all get together and flash our lights together. And so it's this beautiful light display, and it's kind of hard to catch on film, but the pictures are still really cool. And I can only imagine being there. I haven't been there yet. I really want to go. But this is just a really great example of the beauty of nature and what God's created, and the fact that people are so intrigued by this that they're willing to go pay money to get into a lottery to get tickets to go see this thing that happens once a year. And it's a pretty big deal. And so I'm like, okay, light, like that's pretty cool, a firefly. So then I thought about in the Bible, in the book of John, chapter 1, verse 1 through 9. It says, in the beginning, the Word already existed. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. He existed in the beginning with God. God created everything through him, and nothing was created except through him. The Word gave life to everything that was created, and his life brought light to everyone. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it. So I'm just gonna pause there. So I don't know about you, but that first part was kind of like a complicated math problem. I'm just like, what are you talking about? And I like the last verse. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it. I'm like, that's cool. That's a light I can get behind. I like that. So let's read on and see if we can solve this mystery. God sent a man, John the Baptist, to tell about the light so that everyone might believe because of his testimony. John himself was not the light. He was simply a witness to tell about the light. The one who is the true light, who gives light to everyone, was coming into the world. So, who's the Word? Who's the light? What are we talking about? Well, I think that kind of gives you a clue. We're talking about Jesus. Jesus is the light. Jesus is the light that shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it. And I don't have to enter a lottery to get to be with Jesus, to get to be with God. Like, we've already won that. And that's pretty exciting. And to think about fireflies and the fact that, like, God spent so much time on this tiny little beetle to give it this ability to produce light and to do this bioluminescence reaction, which is essentially oxygen. We breathe in. Beetles breathe a little different. And the oxygen mixes with these other fancy chemicals with big names that I'm not even going to try to pronounce, which is pretty cool. And as it mixes in this chemical reaction, so like they breathe, light's produced, and it burns out, light goes away, and then they breathe and light's produced, and then they use it up and it's gone, and it just keeps going and going. Like, that's like, I don't know, like, that's just, wow, God, why would you give us these glimmers of light like this? Why would you spend so much time on this tiny little beetle? And then to think, like, yeah, but God thinks you're worth even more than that. God thinks you're an even bigger deal than that. And I don't produce any light, but the light of God, Jesus, shines through me, shines through you. And that's a big deal. Like, and you might not think so, and you might not be there yet, and that's totally okay. But mainly what I wanted to talk about is looking for glimmers of light throughout our days. Like, I get excited about synchronous fireflies, maybe you don't, but that's how personal God is. Like, he speaks whatever love language you have. If it's video games, like he can speak through that. Another thing I love is photography, and I love going to the North Shore in Lake Superior, and like I took this picture, and it's a wave crashing on the rocks of Lake Superior, and like this is just a glimmer of light. It's a glimmer of hope, because I don't know, there's something about just going and seeing this massive lake and just feeling so small, but also seeing like how God controls it all, and that I'm worth even more, is just kind of really peaceful. And so I want you to go through your week looking for these glimmers of hope. And like I said, they can be different. They can be a text message from a friend, going to coffee, watching dog videos on YouTube or Instagram. Like that's one of the things I love. So if you have any good ones that you've come across, send them my way. But yeah, it can be in nature, it can be a sunset, it can be the stars, it can be whatever, like however God speaks to you. So I want you to look for those throughout your week, and let us know what you see. And of course, not done yet. We got a science experiment for you, and I hope you'll be excited about this. You can even do it at home if you want to. Mine's gonna be a little different because we're gonna use some black light to shine a little light on the situation and make it look a little cooler. But you can do this at home with a jar of water, fill it like 3/4 full of water, and then get a smaller bowl or like a measuring cup and put 2 to 3 tablespoons of cooking oil, so vegetable oil, something like that. And then you're gonna take food coloring and just do like 3 to 5 drops of each color into that oil and just stir it up a little bit. And then you pour that onto your water, and yeah, you're gonna see that the paint, because of the different densities, the paint's eventually gonna fall out of the oil and it's gonna look really cool like fireworks. And we're gonna do a glow-in-the-dark version. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope you have a super awesome week. We'll see you next time.